There's a book of Micah chapter 2 verse 10. Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted, it shall destroy you, even with the sword destruction. First and foremost, I would like to call all y'all Bashim Yahushai, Bashim Kakodash, the ones to the apostles and elders, great Nelson, great well. Peace, blessings, salutations to the whole flag, to all your brothers out there pushing the word in truth and sincerity. Shalom to all your brothers, stay strong, pushing this quick lesson. And the reason I read the scriptures because in order for us to get closer to the Most High, we got to detach ourselves from this society. Okay, because like the scripture said here, because it is polluted, it shall destroy you. So in order for us to get closer to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, we got to completely detach from this world. Okay, which this world is polluted, is corrupted, it's wicked. Okay, this world promotes wickedness and evil, darkness. Okay, and not only do they promote it, but this is what the world deems to to be cool. Okay, to be a freak, to be a demon is a cool thing now. Okay, you ain't hip to shit if you ain't one of the alphabet people, or if you ain't doing no type of wickedness, committing adultery. So this world deems wickedness to be cool. Okay, and then righteousness is deemed as it makes you a lame, it makes you a cornball, right? So if you're righteous, it makes you into someone that you don't want to be. Okay, righteousness is not cool in this world. Okay, but to be a demon, they'll put you on a pedestal, they'll uplift you if you're a demon. So once again, Micah chapter 2 verse 10, arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. Exactly. So how do we depart from this place? Spiritually, mentally. Okay, we don't want nothing to do with this world, because first and foremost, this world is not ours. This kingdom is not our time for is not our time to rule yet. Okay, this is the kingdom of the so-called white man. This is the kingdom of Esau. Okay, they're the ones controlling, they're the ones calling the shots. That's why there's wickedness all over the place, because Esau pushes wickedness. Okay, so this is how we depart from this place. Okay, it ain't talking physically, it's talking to depart from this place, to detach from this place, mentally and spiritually. For this is not your rest. Exactly. If you're a so-called Negro, Latino, Native American, Indian, you should know by now, man, that this is not your rest. This is not your world. Okay, this world is controlled and manipulated by the so-called white man Esau. Okay, which the so-called white man he's known as Esau. In the scriptures, that's his real title. That's his real name. That's who those people are. Okay, when you see a so-called white man, you're looking at it Edomite. Okay, and when you see a so-called Negro, Latino, Native American, Indian, you're seeing the children of Israel. Okay, so we should know by now that this is not our rest. Okay, we're not supposed to make it in this society. Furthermore, the curses are upon us. Okay, Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, the curses are upon us. That's why we're in the ghettos. That's why we're at the bottom. Okay, even when we're out, these other nations are controlling, the neighborhoods that we live in. Okay, the different stores and the gas stations. Our people ain't working them shits. Okay, it's them heathen that are, selling this junk to our people, man. Even in our own hoods that we live in. So it says, because it is polluted, it shall destroy you, even with the sword destruction. Exactly. So, if you want to be a part of this world, you gotta get down. You gotta be down to do wickedness, to be a demon. But the Lord is telling us, look, it's gonna destroy you even with the sword destruction. Why? Because if you're part of this world, the Most High is gonna destroy you with thermonuclear destruction. Okay, which the nuclear holocaust will happen. Okay, the nuclear war, World War III will happen. Okay, this is prophecy. Okay, different men which were inspired by Yahweh Hashem Yahushai have prophesied this coming nuclear war between Russia, America, China, Israel, Iran, so on and so forth. So this is how it's gonna destroy you. If you want to be a part of this world, to be down, you gotta be wicked. But the Most High said, look, it's gonna destroy you. Okay, and the only way a so-called Negro, Latino, Native American, Indian is gonna be able to make it in this society is if you gotta sell out. You gotta sell your soul to Esau, to the so-called white man, to the devil, man. That's the only way a Jay could come up in this society, in this world. Other than that, you ain't going nowhere. because like I said, or I take that back, because even dudes that sell out, dudes that are in the industry, whatever it may be, music, music industry, Hollywood, whatever, acting, right? Even Jakes that make it in Hollywood, that sell out, even at the end of their careers, man, they go through shit. Okay, the curses are still following their ass. Okay, you have a lot of examples of Jake that were very well recognized and well loved in Hollywood or whatever, but then when they're at the end, they lose everything. They lose all their money. They're penniless. The the feds go up in their shit and they take everything. They take their houses. They take the cars. They take the millions of dollars that they made. Unless, of course, they got to do some wicked shit. They got to sacrifice one of their loved ones. They got to take it up the ass. Commit a homosexual act. They got to do some freaky shit in order for them to still stay in Hollywood. Okay, but let me go ahead and get the book of Hebrews, chapter 13. There's a book of Hebrews 13, verse 14, and it says, Hebrews chapter 13, verse 14, for here we have no continuing city, but we seek one to come. Exactly. So here, in this society, in this world, we have no continuing city. Okay, we're not established. Okay, we ain't calling our own shots. We ain't making up our own rules and regulations. Okay, we ain't making the laws. That Esau has control of all that. So we're not a sovereign nation. Us as so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native American Indians, we don't have sovereignty. Okay, we gotta go to the so-called white man for food, for drink, for clothing, to pay the bills and do all that shit. We gotta go to Esau to survive and thrive in the society. Esau ain't gonna put us in Esau ain't gonna give us our own land and free us, and make us call our own shot. Esau's not gonna do that. Why? Because as a matter of fact, we're still in captivity. Okay, even though we don't have chains, and even though we're we don't have a yoke of irons on our neck, that doesn't mean that we're free. Okay, we're still in captivity. We're still in slavery underneath the so-called white man. Okay, but people don't even realize, even these other nations, that live here in America, even the heathen, they're in slavery too. Or really, the whole world, every single person in this world is a slave unto the Rothschilds, to the Rockefellers, to the elite of Esau. Because you need your birth certificate. They give you a social security number, which that's the number, that's your slave number. Okay, so now you're in the system. Okay, you're in the matrix, as they say. So these devils, they have they have tabs on you, and the ultimate how can I say it? The ultimate chains, slavery chains that Esau wants to put is that MOTB, the microchip. Okay, which that's the ultimate goal of these Edomites. That chip, that's where Esau's really gonna have control over the people. So the people that take that chip, even though Esau's gonna try to paint it, in a beautiful way, like, oh, this could help you with this. It could, you could pay with your chip. You could lock doors and open doors with the chip. The chip is gonna become like a life hack, right? So Esau's gonna paint it, he's gonna try to paint it beautifully, but really, the MOTB, which is a chip, the microchip, that's really to keep you, so he can watch you whatever you do. Okay, if you go somewhere, guess what? He knows where you're at. He knows what you're doing. Okay, he knows everything about you. So that chip is the ultimate slavery tool that Esau wants to use. Okay, but anyways, going back to the scriptures, Hebrews chapter 13, verse 14. For here we have no continuing city, but we seek one to come. Exactly, and what's the continuing city that we seek? The kingdom of heaven. Okay, when Yahweh Shem Yahushua establishes the kingdom here on planet Earth. Okay, you see, because people in the churches, Christians and Catholics, People think that the kingdom of heaven is going to be in heaven, which the word heaven that means rulership. Okay, so the word heaven means rulership. That's all it means. So the kingdom of heaven is going to be here on earth, but it's going to be us ruling. Okay, the Most High is going to put us back in the power seat, where we belong as His children. Okay, the children of Israel. Okay, so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native American Indians. The Most High is going to establish us back in the power seat, and we're going to have all these other nations, beginning with Esau and slavery. Okay, but the only difference between Esau and the other nations is Esau is going to be exterminated. Okay, he's going to be eradicated from off the face of the earth, according to the book of Obadiah. Okay, but then these other nations, these other heathen, they're going to be in slavery for 1,000 years underneath us, and then after 1,000 years, we're going to kind of let them do their thing, but really they're still going to be debtors unto us. Okay, they're still going to have to do what we tell them to do through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Okay, and we're going to be ruling and governing the whole planet, the whole world in righteousness. Ain't going to be no more fucking wickedness, man. Okay, and if these other nations fall, if they go out of bounds, if they go out of line, guess what? We're going to put them in check. Okay, we're going to put our foot up the ass, and we're going to bring them back to the Most High. Okay, these other nations, they ain't going to be worshiping no fucking Buddha, no fucking whatever Islam praises, Allah or whatever. You see, what's the name? What's the deity of them East Indian motherfuckers? Krishna or whatever the fuck. Ain't gonna be none of those fucking deities. Okay, those demons. All these other nations are gonna have to fall in line, and they're gonna have to worship Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. Okay, the power of Israel. But anyways, once again, Hebrews chapter 13 verse 14. For here we have no continuing city, but we seek one to come. Exactly. So we're waiting for the kingdom of heaven, man. We have nothing to do with this place. Remember, the scripture says we are not of this world. Okay, meaning we are not of this. We're not a part of this wicked society. Okay. But guess what? We're gonna be a part of the next kingdom. Because the next kingdom, that's man. You won't be able to compare this kingdom to the kingdom of heaven, man. The kingdom of heaven is gonna be way out of how can I say? It's gonna be wonderful, man. People, you can't even describe how beautiful the kingdom of heaven is gonna be. We're gonna be powerful. We're gonna have spiritual power. We're gonna be controlling everything. We're gonna be 100% righteous. Okay, because even right now, when we try to be 100% righteous, we can't, because we're still in the flesh. We still sin. We still think wicked thoughts. But in the kingdom of heaven, all that shit is going out the window. There's gonna be no death amongst the Israelites. Okay, we're gonna have 100% righteousness. There's gonna be an aura. We're gonna have this aura around us, man. We're gonna have like this light shining around us. And these other nations, they're gonna look up to us, man. Like the scripture says, that the God of Israel is amongst these people, or something like that. Let's go to these people, because these people, man, God is with them. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua is with these people, man. So let's get close to these people. That's what these other nations are gonna be saying. That's what these other nations are going to be doing in the kingdom of heaven, man. They're going to look up to us, because, we're going to be like gods on earth. Okay, the Most High is going to give us that spirit to where we're going to be like gods on earth. Right now, the so-called white man is he's the one that has all the fame. He has all the glory. He has all the riches. Everybody wants to be the so-called white man. You got the Asian the Asian males. They want to be like the so-called white man. They dress like the so-called white man. They put the suit and tie and shit. They put the dress shoes on. They walk like a fucking Edomite. Everybody wants to be a fucking Edomite in this world. Why? Because he's the one calling the shots. He's in power. He's in the power seat. But guess what? In the kingdom of heaven, we're gonna be the ones with the fame. Okay, everybody's gonna look up to us and want to be like us. These other nations. Okay, not because of us, but because the Lord is with us. Okay, because Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, the creator of everything, is with us. Alright, the power of Israel. But let me go ahead and get the book of 2 Peter's. You see, and that's all we're waiting for, man. The kingdom of heaven, for Yahweh Shai to come back. 'Cause let's be real, man. Everything here is fucking bullshit. Everything's fake. You know, everything's fucking wicked. There's no righteousness at all. There's no faith. Okay, the only faith comes from the hopeful elect, the 144,000 and the 1/3. You know, Lord willing, I'm one of those men. But that's the only type of righteousness and truth. Okay, that's the only truth. You know, the truth and righteousness and faith comes from us. Okay, it doesn't come from everybody else, man. Why? Because the Most High is dealing with us only. Okay, he's only dealing with the certain, you know, elect, a certain remnant of the nation of Israel. He ain't dealing with the whole nation of Israel, man. Okay, you know, dudes outside the circle of this truth, you know, all these wicked ass niggas and spics that are being a bunch of demons, selling drugs, killing each other, committing adultery, you know, eating all types of filthy shit, eating a bunch of abominations, crabs and oysters and shit like that. The Most High is gonna get rid of those. Okay, the 2/3, but there's a small circle that the Most High is dealing with. Okay, and that's the hopeful elect, the 144,000 and the 1/3. Okay, those are the only ones that the Most High is concerned with. Everybody else can fuck off, man. Everybody else is gonna get killed. Okay, the Most High is gonna be doing a lot of killing, man, even amongst his people. And when it comes to the females, when it comes to women, the Most High is gonna kill a lot of these bitches, man. A lot of these bitches ain't right. They're fucking wicked. They're demons. They're sleeping with every dude. You know, and these bitches wonder why the pussies stink, because you're letting dudes, you know, penetrate you and shit. You know, then this bitch walks in the room, man, you know, stinking up the whole shit. But it says 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 13, and it says 2 Peter chapter 3 verse 13. Nevertheless, we, according to his promise, right, which this promise goes back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Okay, and then ultimately to the 12 patriarchs, which became, you know, the 12 tribes. So this promise goes back thousands of years ago, man. You know what, 3,000 years ago, or probably more than that, or maybe around 3,000 years ago. But the Most High promised Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob that he was going to give us the kingdom of heaven. Okay. So it says, nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for new heavens and a new earth. Right? Going back to the word heavens. Okay. The word heaven really means rulership. Okay. And a new earth, meaning, okay, of course, the Most High could, create planets, which we believe that the Most High is creating other planets, that are habitable, where you'll be able to live. Okay, which the Most High, he does speak about that in the scriptures. But the new earth is really talking about this planet, but he's going to refresh it. Okay, because everything's polluted, man. Going back to the first scripture that I just read, polluted, this place, isn't only polluted spiritually, but even physically. On a physical level, this whole world is fucking polluted. Why? Because it's so-called white man. He's putting chemtrails up in the heavens. He's polluting the ocean. He's killing everything, man. He's the deforestation of different, which call different forests, and the killing of all these animals, which they say a lot of animals going extinct, which I don't believe that, because the Most High created these animals, and I believe there's all these animals that they say are extinct, they're not extinct. Okay, there's still a few of them out there that the Most High has preserved, because the only one that can extinct and certain things and animals is the Most High, because he's the one that created them. But of course Esau is doing a lot of killing of these animals too. So everything around us is fucked up. And not only that, but he's coming up against us. Okay, Esau's destroying us, man. What do you think? You think our people created gangs? Absolutely not. Okay, you had the FBI, you had the CIA who created these gangs, and you had a bunch of wicked niggas and spigs that they were approached by Esau. Look, we're gonna give you all these millions of dollars. Just go ahead and start these gangs. Whatever, from Mexican gangs to black gangs to Native American Indian gangs. Esau went up to our people, and he told these people, look, we'll give you millions of dollars. Even the drug dealers of our people, the drug dealers, they work for the fucking governments, for Esau. Okay. So where do you think all that shit came from? It came from Esau because he wanted to destroy us because he knows who we are. He knows who he is, but he also knows who we are. Okay. Like the scripture says, thou art wiser than Daniel. Okay, thou art wiser than Daniel. So Esau knows what the hell, he knows the truth. So the reason why he was targeting it, or is targeting us even to this very day, is because he knows that we're the children of Israel. And he wants to get rid of us because he knows that we're we're up next. Okay, we're gonna be ruling this planet in righteousness forever. Okay, for eternity. Okay, and in order for us to rule, guess what? He has to come down. He has to be moved out the way, which is gonna happen. Okay, Esau is gonna be moved out the way, and he's gonna go into slavery this time. And the Most High is gonna put us up. Okay, he's gonna make us come up, and we're gonna be the new rulers in righteousness. Okay. So it says, nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for new heavens and a new earth, wherein dwelleth righteousness. Exactly. So right now, in this world, wickedness, reigns supreme. Darkness is what's popping right now. Okay, that's if you ain't wicked, if you ain't evil, then you're not popping. Okay, but guess what? In the next kingdom, there's gonna be righteousness. There's gonna be peace, tranquility. Ain't gonna be no more fucking wars. Ain't gonna be no more destruction of oceans, and the destruction of the air we breathe in, different forests and the animals. Okay, everything around this world is gonna come back and flourish to what it once was. Okay, there's gonna be nothing but everything's gonna be flourishing pretty much. Okay, when we're in control. Okay, when we're in power, we're gonna do we're gonna do things the right way, the way the Most High wants things to be done. Okay, not the way Esau was running shit, because you see the outcome. You see what the fuck. You see the outcome of what Esau did, man. Everything's destroyed. But when the Most High sets us back, sets us up as the new rulers, guess what? Everything's gonna be working the right way. Okay. So this is what we look for, man. Fuck this world, fuck this society. Okay, we don't care about this world, man. And the beautiful thing is that this world is about to end, but there's gonna be a new world that's gonna rise up after this world is destroyed. By those nuclear missiles, by the chariots, the Yahushua and the angels. Okay, and then after the smoke settles, so to speak, then the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Okay, the kingdom of heaven is right there. Remember, the scripture says Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followed. Okay, who is Esau? Esau's a so-called white man. Who is Jacob? That's the so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native American Indians. So we're gonna be the next rulers. Okay, as soon as Esau's destroyed, as soon as Esau's world is done and over with, the next rulership is gonna be Jacob, and that's the kingdom of heaven right there. Okay, that's the kingdom of Yahushua. So let me go ahead and get. Alright, there's a book of Matthew chapter 6 verse 33. But seek ye first the kingdom of the Most High and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. Exactly. So this is what we got to keep our eyes on. Okay, we got to keep our eyes on the prize. Okay, fuck trying to make it in this society. Okay, this, like I read, the first scripture. This place is polluted, it shall surely destroy you. If you want to remain part of this world, spiritually and mentally, you're going to be destroyed. Okay, but the Most High is telling us, look, seek the kingdom of the Most High first, and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you, man. Okay, what's some of the things? Okay, spiritual power. We're going to be like gods. We're going to be 100% righteous. We're not going to be going off no more. We're not going to be sinning no more. There's going to be no more suffering, no more pain, no more wars. Okay, so everything that was bad, everything that was wicked, is that all of that shit's going out the window, man. And what's coming in instead is going to be righteousness, tranquility, peace, power. Okay, that's what's coming to us. Okay, to the children of Israel. So it says, and all these things shall be added unto you, man. Okay, but pretty much that's it. Look, we got to detach ourselves from this wicked society, and look look unto the kingdom of heaven. Okay, seek the kingdom of heaven and his righteousness of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Okay, but anyways, with that, I'm gonna say call out Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, Bashem Kakundachi. Till next time, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, say shalom.